How to help your doctor keep his appointment book full. In order for your doctor to serve more sick people, and therefore keep his practice at a successful level, he needs to be at his best at all times in order to deliver the type of health service that his patients deserve. First of all, there are many things you can do to make his job easier and to help keep that appointment book filled to capacity each and every day so you and your doctor can stay happily busy during all your office hours. Always try to keep your appointment system as efficient as you possibly can. There will be days when emergencies arise and the schedule will naturally suffer. But I am referring now to the normal routine day in the chiropractic office. Most of the time it will be primarily up to you to keep things running smoothly. A good appointment schedule doesn't just happen, it is planned. An efficient system allows the doctor to run his practice, not having it run him. And it will free you from the strains and pressures created by a reception room crowded with impatient and perhaps ill-tempered people. Even more important, it's sure to pay off in the goodwill of your patients, in referrals, and certainly in your doctor's income. CA, you are the one who must execute this appointment plan. Naturally, it won't work if your doctor is the type who tells a patient to, or if he himself is habitually late for appointments. But if you plan the appointment schedule efficiently, the chances are your doctor will be so pleased that he will be more than willing to do his part, since he will realize that everyone benefits by an efficient appointment plan. You should be very efficient in this department, even though your office may not make definite appointments. By the way, the new and excellent My Pal appointment book, obtainable from Share International, is designed not only for maximum efficiency in scheduling appointments so that the right amount of time is allowed for each patient, but even more important, so that both you and your doctor are disciplined to become growth-oriented. And incidentally, the My Pal appointment book is ideal not only for definite appointment of individual patients, but also for a group of patients such as 3 at 11, 3 at 11:15, and so forth. If you can use the group appointment system in this manner, then you will take patients, of course, within each group in the order of their arrival. Through experience, you will learn to evaluate and be realistic about the amount of time your doctor will need with each individual patient. For instance, if you know that Mrs. Talker consistently takes longer than the usual 10 minutes, don't schedule another patient too soon following her appointment, or your schedule will suffer for the rest of the day. It is better to allow additional time for such patients than to schedule them too closely and have patients pile up in the reception room. The longer they have to wait, the less satisfied they will become with chiropractic care. Also, check with your doctor periodically and let him know if he is falling too far behind in his schedule. Here are 12 basic rules to keep the patients flowing smoothly and to fill that appointment book. 1. Remember that a chiropractic practice is best built on an appointment system that is practical, efficient, and easily workable. 2. When making an appointment by telephone, write down the name, address, and telephone number of each caller. 3. Enter all appointments in the appointment book immediately. Should the doctor be talking to a prospective patient on the telephone, anticipate the need and take him the appointment book so he can see when it would be convenient to schedule the new patient. 4. Always make each patient's next appointment before he leaves the office. You may give him a printed appointment card, and as you fill in the appointed time, read it aloud for verification. 5. During office hours, take patients strictly in the order of their appointments except in emergencies. 6. If there is an emergency, take the patient into the doctor's office at once, then explain the situation to those who are waiting. 7. Don't let a latecomer interrupt another patient whose appointment has been kept promptly. Be pleasantly firm, but make him wait his turn. 8. If a new patient comes in without an appointment, work him in for at least a short consultation visit with the doctor as soon as you can. Then, if the doctor does not have time for the full consultation, and if the call is not an emergency, make an appointment with him for another day. This way, he will not feel slighted, and it will not make a chaos of your appointment schedule. 9. If a former patient drops in without an appointment, unless his case is an emergency, urge him as tactfully and courteously as possible to make an appointment for another time. 10. Do all in your power, utilizing the training you have had, to keep your doctor free from unnecessary interruptions. This means handling telephone calls, salesmen, and other interruptions as explained in this album. 11. As far in advance as possible, cancel any outside appointments the doctor finds he will not be able to keep. He must be as businesslike about his own outside appointments as he expects his patients to be in keeping theirs with him. And number 12, always use the positive approach in making an appointment. Never say the doctor can't see you until 4 o'clock. Say instead, Dr. Parker can see you at 4 this afternoon or tomorrow morning at 10:30. Which time do you prefer? First of all, always try to accommodate the patient and let him know you are doing so. The appointment breaker can be a real challenge to your patient handling ability. And there are some effective ways for dealing with the person who cancels his appointment at the last minute, or worse, doesn't show up at all. It is good procedure to give each and every patient an appointment card so he will know exactly the date and hour of his next visit. Many such cards have a sentence printed on the bottom instructing the patient to give 24 hours notice if he is unable to keep his appointment. Some cards include this sentence: if absolutely necessary to cancel this appointment, no charge will be made if 24 hours notice is given. Some offices use this system. After 2 broken appointments, a bill is sent for the 3rd broken appointment. This will result in one of 2 things. The patient will start coming in on time, or he will never come back, which was probably his intent anyhow. At least you'll get rid of the problem and then be free to go on with more important details. Instead of charging for broken appointments, some offices successfully try persuasion. Also, an appeal to the patient's conscience is sometimes effective. When the appointment is being made, a remark such as this may bring results. Another patient of Dr. Parker's would like to have that time, but since you asked for it first, I'll give him another time. Or perhaps a frank appeal to his own welfare will be effective. You might say, Mr. Jones, your next appointment is on Monday, May 29th at 3 in the afternoon. If you continue to miss appointments, it may very well slow down all the progress you have gained through your previous adjustments. It is often wise to make a list of the number of times a patient misses his appointments. The names of delinquent patients can be written each day at the top of the appointment page. At the end of each week, the names can be recorded in the back of the book under the headings Missed, Canceled, or Late. It is surprising how often the same names will appear over a period of months. Once they are noticed, special pains can be taken with these careless patients. An excellent procedure, CA, is to telephone habitual appointment breakers to remind them of their appointments. Some patients intend to keep their appointments, but they become involved with business matters and just forget to come in. This type of patient truly appreciates a call as a reminder. And what about the latecomer? One way to handle this habitual offender is to enter an 11:15 appointment in the book for 11:30. This way, he has to wait only a few minutes if he should just happen to be on time. In even the best organized offices, you can't expect split-second timing of any schedule because you're dealing with individuals and each patient takes varying amounts of time. This is particularly true of consultations and X-ray examinations. So all schedules need some flexibility. Here is one way to achieve it. Keep certain set times free of all appointments. This gives a margin of time either to get back on schedule or to catch up with other duties. Some offices schedule new patients only at given times. For example, at 10 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon. That way, plenty of time can be allowed to make a thorough, unhurried consultation and examination without the pressure of a schedule that is falling behind. If there are no new patients, you may use this time for filling out insurance reports, typing letters, sending reminder cards, or other duties. The first appointments in the morning usually set the pace for the rest of the day. So try never to begin office hours with a new patient, a difficult patient, or one who tends to forget his appointment or who is habitually late. Generally, the more difficult patients should be seen in the afternoon. Then the delay that may arise will not disrupt your schedule for the whole day. You will get to know which patients require more time, and as you gain experience, you can prepare for them. You may want to book some patients for a few extra minutes. For example, if the mayor of the town or the newspaper publisher is coming in, your doctor may want to discuss something with him which may serve a very worthwhile purpose for him and the profession. With extra minutes provided, the doctor can feel free to discuss any matter of importance and still stay on schedule. The main rules, then, for conducting an efficient appointment schedule are: 1. The appointment system should be handled primarily by only one person, preferably the trained CA, regardless of how many are on the staff. 2. Appointments need to be scheduled realistically according to each patient's needs. 3. A margin of time should be left to allow a return to the timetable. 4. If an unavoidable delay forces the doctor to fall far behind, the CA may telephone the later appointments and reschedule them. And 5. Again, latecomers and appointment breakers need to be dealt with pleasantly but firmly. They should be scheduled for hours when their carelessness will be least troublesome. Follow these rules and discover just how efficiently your appointment schedule can be regulated, and see how full that appointment book stays. Insurance cases may make up a large percentage of your doctor's practice. Therefore, the reports must be processed accurately and promptly. You must have a systematic way of filing these records, so you won't neglect to send in the reports at the proper time. One way to control these claims is to consolidate them into one record. Make a special notebook or register and divide each page into 9 vertical columns and type in the following headings: patient, policy number, date forms received, amount, date filed, insurer, payee, follow-up date, and date paid. Fill out the first 3 columns each time you get a form from a patient or from his insurance company. After the claim has been completed and signed by the doctor, put the amount of the claim in the 4th column. Then in the next 2 columns, fill out the date the form was mailed and the company to whom it was sent. In the column labeled payee, mark patient, when payment will be made directly to the policyholder. This will be true in the majority of insurance cases, since it is recommended that the patient follow the regular procedure of taking care of his obligation as he receives chiropractic care. He will then be compensated by the insurance company directly. In some personal injury cases where litigation may be involved and the doctor is accepting the case on an assignment basis, you should first complete the assignment of payment form, which is available from Share International. Put this in the patient's permanent record, then enter doctor in the payee column. Also, in cases of workmen's compensation, doctor should be entered in the payee column. Next, enter a date in the follow-up date column if you need to notify the patient or the doctor that payment has not been received after a reasonable lapse of time, for instance, 30 days after the claim is filed. And finally, when payment is made, fill in the date and the amount in the last column in your book. By using this method, you have an almost infallible way of double-checking yourself to make sure that insurance forms are being mailed at the proper time, and also you will never let a claim run too long without a follow-up letter. And this, CA, will take a tremendous load away from your doctor. All he has to do is give you the needed technical information to fill out the forms, and he can rest assured that the claims will be completed and mailed without his having to worry about them. A regular mailing program is another very important duty of the versatile CA to help keep her doctor's appointment book full, and thank you notes are one of the most important items of this program. A minimum of 2 thank you notes or thank you grams should be mailed each day. You should send a thank you note from the doctor to every person who refers a patient to your doctor's office. This is a must. Thank you notes for small courtesies or actions that are so often overlooked or taken for granted are received with the warmest feeling of gratitude. Send a thank you note to Mrs. Green to tell her how much you appreciate the way she always keeps her appointments on time and never complains if she has to wait. Send a thank you note to Mrs. Webster for the lovely bouquet of roses she brought to the office. Send a thank you note to the editor of the local paper for the fine article he ran on the trip the doctor took to the Parker Chiropractic Research Seminar in Fort Worth. Get the idea? Just look around and become aware of all the nice things people do for you and your doctor. Then send them thank you notes just to say we appreciate you. Doing this daily will definitely help keep your doctor's appointment book full. The birthday file is another part of your mailing program that builds patient goodwill. When a new patient comes in, the doctor will get the date of birth for the case history file. Record this date immediately in your birthday index file. Each morning, check the date approximately 3 days ahead and send birthday cards to all patients whose birthdays fall at that time. These cards come as an unexpected surprise, and patients are amazed that the doctor knew it was their birthday. Share International has a full-year supply of very professional birthday cards, which allows a change each year. Each individual office will have various mailing programs. Some offices have a vast monthly mailing program. Others send out more personalized letters. But in any case, letters can be a most effective tool for holding former patients and getting them back to your doctor's office. For instance, when a patient has not finished his series of adjustments but has no telephone, you might send him a letter such as this. Dear Mr. Johns, we have missed you and you have missed your adjustments. In order to achieve maximum results in a minimum of time, it is necessary that you receive your adjustments regularly. We are very interested in your case. Would you be kind enough to telephone us or drop by the office and let us know how you are getting along? We'll be looking forward to hearing from you. Sincerely, and signed by the doctor. Or when a patient misses an appointment, you might send a letter such as this. Dear Mrs. Brown, I am sorry that you missed your appointment yesterday. We feel sure that it must have been because of an unavoidable situation which developed. Since you have received such excellent results from chiropractic care, I am sure you intend to follow through with your adjustments. Therefore, I have reserved time for you on Thursday at 11 in the morning. If this time is not convenient, please call the office and we will arrange another time. We'll be looking forward to seeing you. Sincerely, and signed by the doctor. Remember, always make a notation on the patient's file to indicate what letter has been mailed to that particular patient. This eliminates the embarrassing possibility of sending the same letter twice. Your doctor will decide what mailing program he wants you to use. Follow his instructions systematically and make it a well-planned procedure. Then it will be most effective. Any letter you send out should have the following 3 characteristics. 1, it should be personal, and make it as presentable, cordial, and human as your doctor and his staff would be in person. 2, it should be informative. If there is nothing important to say, there is no need to spend the time and effort just to antagonize a patient with a worthless piece of mail. And 3, it should be provocative. If it doesn't stimulate the patient to do something or feel something, then it hasn't served the purpose for which it was intended. And here are 3 examples. 1, when the patient is promoted, changes jobs, or has some other good fortune to come his way, he should be mailed a personal note of congratulation from the doctor. 2, a sympathy card or a personal letter should be mailed to every patient following any bereavement. 3, when a son or daughter gets married or a new baby arrives, cards of congratulation should be sent with a personal note from the doctor. And also there are many form letters, of course, that can be sent when a new person moves into town. These events and dozens of others may escape the doctor's attention. So it is your responsibility, CA, to check the newspapers and stay alert as to the activities of your doctor's patients, and then remember them with a note from your doctor. This is a tremendous public relations booster, and it builds strong patient goodwill and definitely helps keep the doctor's appointment book full. Set up an index card file for your mailing list and keep it current. Add names often and immediately remove names of any deceased persons or any who have moved or changed their address or who have, for some reason, become dissatisfied patients. Place the names of all your patients on the mailing list. Each patient should receive at least 1 piece of chiropractic literature or a personal letter every month. Then add those persons whose names you secure from patients. Perhaps you may add the doctor's church roll, or even the roll of any civic organization of which your doctor is a member. You may include the names of persons of high civic standing, such as the mayor, legislators, school teachers, and the city editor. You may add any others who deal with large groups of people, such as beauty operators, barbers, and insurance adjusters. Although collection procedure is dealt with on another record in this care album, it can form a vital part of your mailing program, which in turn certainly contributes to a full appointment book. If the proper collection procedure is employed in your office, the number of monthly statements you send will not be too numerous. However, you will probably always have some. This, too, should be a regular, planned procedure. Every business office has a regular time each month when statements are mailed. Some use a revolving system with statements going out each month on the 15th, 25th, or 30th. But almost without exception, they send out statements on a regular basis every 30 days. Now, your office should be no different. If your first statement goes unanswered, a second statement should be sent 30 days later. If the second statement is also ignored, it is necessary to learn why. If these two statements are ignored, it is recommended that 15 days after the second statement is mailed, the patient be contacted by personal letter or telephone to determine the reason for non-payment. Your doctor and the basis on which your individual office operates will determine what type of collection letter you should send or what your telephone conversation should be. Remember, CA, the smoothness and efficiency of your doctor's office depend to a large extent upon you. As you prove that you are worthy of the responsibilities placed upon your shoulders, your doctor can free his mind of office worries and concentrate upon getting sick people well. And finally, CA, at the end of this album, let me say, in dealing with patients, always keep in mind the 5 most important words are, I am proud of you. The 4 most important words are, what is your opinion? The 3 most important words are, I appreciate you. The 2 most important words are, thank you. The 1 most important word is, you. And the least important word is, I. In your position, CA, as a chiropractic assistant, within the great body of the chiropractic profession, you are indeed fulfilling a need. In this day of speed and modern living, we sometimes neglect the important attitudes of kindness and compassion. Day after day, hour after hour, you have the opportunity to brighten the lives of sick persons and help suffering patients back to health because of your heartfelt consideration and communication. And in performing this very necessary and appreciated service, you go the extra mile, you give a baker's dozen, you deliver a bulging box, and as a consequence, you are naturally helping your doctor keep his appointment book filled to capacity. God bless you, CA, for your dedication to sick humanity and to chiropractic.